Welcome students. Today we will discuss chapter 2nd of class 11th biology, biological classification. In the previous chapter we have discussed about the characteristic feature of living organisms and the basics of classification. As we all know, the branch of biology which deals with the study of classification of living organisms is known as taxonomy. Word taxonomy is taken from two Greek words. Taxic means arrangement and nomos means nomenclature. Since a long time, human beings try to classify organisms on the basis of their characteristic features. One such attempt was made by Aristotle in 350 BC. Living things were animated by a vital force different from anything found in non-living matter, stated by Aristotle. Out of this concept was developed the scale of nature. Idea they suggest living things were arranged on a scale of perfection, with man at the top. He also originated the concept of genera, used in a much broader sense than present day biologists use the term, and then distinguished the species. Aristotle is also considered as the father of biology. In 300 BC, Theophrastus, a student of Aristotle, classifies over 500 plants in four different categories, that is, herbs, shrubs, undershrubs, and trees. In 1758, Carolus Linnaeus, who is called as the father of taxonomy, introduced class, order, genus, and species. He also introduced binomial nomenclature for the scientific nomenclature of different living organisms. His system is also known as the Linnean system of classification, which included the 7-level taxonomy, which was based on the most evident characteristic features of living organism, that is, their morphological characteristic features. Two kingdom classification. A Swedish biologist, Carolus Linnaeus, in the 10th edition of his book Systema Naturae, published in 1758, classified all living organisms into two main kingdoms, Kingdom Plantae and Kingdom Animalia. He included all the plants in Kingdom Plantae and all the animals in Kingdom Animalia. According to him, plants are the organisms that photosynthesize and do not exhibit locomotion, while animals are organisms that exhibit heterotrophic nutrition and they also locomote from one place to another place. As you can see, in two kingdom classification, Carolus Linnaeus classify all living beings into two broad categories, Kingdom Plantae and Kingdom Animalia. He further divided each kingdom into classes and later grouped them into phyla for animals and divisions for plants. There are certain shortcomings of two kingdom classification. These are: in two kingdom classification, unicellular organisms are put together with multicellular organisms. In two kingdom classification, eukaryotes are put together with the prokaryotes. He has also put together autotrophs and heterotrophs, such as non-photosynthesizing fungi with the photosynthesizing green plants. In two kingdom classification, there is a little regard is given to the different diversified life forms. Group of unicellular algae, diatoms, and protozoan shows sufficient degree of resemblance. After two kingdom classification, the next system of classification is three kingdom classification, in which organisms are classified into three broad categories on the basis of unicellularity and multicellularity. These kingdoms are Protista, Plantae, and Animalia. All unicellular algae, fungi, and bacteria are kept in the kingdom Protista, while all multicellular plants are kept in kingdom Metaphyta or Plantae. Kingdom Animalia or Metazoa included all multicellular animals. But after the discovery of prokaryotic and eukaryotic organism, it is felt that the unicellular organisms must be classified separately on the basis of the presence or absence of nucleus. Hence, in 1956, Copeland classified organisms into four kingdoms. His system of classification is known as the four kingdom classification, in which he classifies organisms in four different kingdoms, that is, Monera, Protista, Metaphyta, and Metazoa. He put all prokaryotic organisms in kingdom Monera. All primitive eukaryotic plants are kept in kingdom Protista. All advanced eukaryotic animals are kept in Metaphyta, and more advanced eukaryotic animals are kept in Metazoa. But Whittaker identify fungi as a separate group of organisms on the basis of its characteristic feature. For example, most of the fungi have a well-developed cell wall. This character resembles with the plants. They do not locomote, but some of the fungi can locomote due to the presence of flagella. Some of the fungi are unicellular, while some of the fungi are multicellular. Fungi do not have chlorophyll or chloroplast, hence they are unable to synthesize their own food. They shows various kinds of nutrition, for example, symbiotic, parasitic. They are act as a saprophyte or parasitic in nature. After this, Whittaker classify all living organisms into five kingdoms, that is, Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. He used some criteria for the classification of organisms. This criteria includes cell structure, number of cells, mode and source of nutrition, and body organization. As you can see, in five kingdom classification, all prokaryotic and unicellular organisms are kept. They do not have cell wall. They all are prokaryotes. In these organisms, a well-developed nuclear membrane is absent. A well-developed cellular organization is absent, and different mode of nutrition like autotrophic and heterotrophic mode of nutrition is present in the members of kingdom Monera. The next kingdom is kingdom Protista, in which in most of the member either pellicle or cell wall is present. They all are eukaryotic organisms. It means a well-developed nuclear membrane is present. Not only the nuclear membrane, but they also possess most of the membrane-bound cell organelle. This shows various modes of nutrition, and they all are unicellular organisms.